Appreciate that introduction. Lots of words there, but I think it's all about machine productivity and using the Internet of Things as a way of creating more productivity from your machines. So it's a big topic, and MachiNet Cloud is Shibaura's way of bringing Internet of Things technology to you, the owners and operators of Shibaura machines. So because it's such a big topic for this panel, we thought the best way to share some of the thoughts and ideas around how the Internet of Things can create productivity. We took three different angles. We have the viewpoint of the customer who's operating a factory floor with Chad Van Haan. We have the viewpoint of Shibaura, which is coming from Michael Warner, and we have the viewpoint of EI3, which is the technology provider coming from Chad Eiffel. So so let's get started. So I think when we think about all of these productivities that we can create, maybe the best place to start is make it feel real practical. And let's hear from you, Chad Van Haan. What are the things that you're doing on your shop floor today that are using MachiNet Cloud to increase your productivity? Just share with us some of those things that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So currently we are using MachiNet Cloud to gather scrap data. We gather downtime, productivity, capacity, and we're diving into putting work instructions and working on life cycle to where we can actually put all this at the end user at the press. It's previously been used as a management tool, so I have 12 injection molding machines that are hooked up to this cloud service. It gives me the ability to have real-time data tracking. So instead of people having to gather the data and report it out the next day, it's literally at my fingertips. So I can go to my phone, my computer, I can punch out a report to see what the capacity or what the availability is, or the productivity or quality for any given press tonnage range or any press throughout that day, that month, the last quarter. I can drill all of that data up in a matter of moments at my computer or on my phone. So it's been pretty productive for a small company like me. We're 15 people total with 12 machines to be able to have that level of data and access to it in a quick manner.
Okay, wow, that's very interesting, Chad, and thank you for sharing that. When you say gather all that data, what I'm going to do is ask you, Michael Warner, tell us just briefly, what is this data? How are we gathering this data? What data is being gathered to present to Chad?
That's a good question. So what's great when it comes to the platform that we're offering with MachiNet Cloud and the data that we are collecting, it's more than just data monitoring, okay?
Okay.
We're getting everything directly from the HMI. So we are getting all set points. We are getting actual feedbacks. We are seeing actual scrap downtimes that are actually coming in from a real-time data from the machine, right? So this is not somebody making up something going down the chart, handing, oh yeah, that machine's up, that machine's down. It's true data, it's actual data directly from the machine, and we are collecting everything that machine has to offer for it. So it's really just not whether a machine is up or is just down.
Interesting. And so what you're saying is that data is not being typed in by hand, but it's automatically flowing from the machine controllers.
Absolutely. So yeah, so it's all automated in essence, right? So all that data is coming in, it's being computed, it's going out and reporting. Here Chad, he can run his reports, he has all that data at his fingertips, and it's more than just I'm running or I'm not running, right? He has complete validation of all his recipes capability, where he can actually see everything that is running on that machine. He can set up validated alarms and alerts that will alert him and his team through emails, through SMS, text messages as well.
Very nice, very nice. So Chad Eiffel, and sorry, we have two Chads here. What are the odds? 3 people and 2 of them are named Chad. Chad, I'm wondering, could you share, because I know you've been with the EI3 Corporation for a while, and you've seen lots of companies achieve an ROI, return on investment, by putting cloud services for Internet of Things applications to work on their machines. Could you just share with us some of the high-level return on investments that you've experienced firsthand over the years?
Sure.
Yeah, it was.
Perfect. Thanks, Spencer. So, for us, what we've seen over the years is that people are able to just run their equipment more efficiently, because not only are you bringing the machine data, but you're also able to capture data from third-party devices, auxiliary equipment. You're able to bring in and get a complete picture of what's happening on the facility floor. You also have the ability to integrate your ERP system, so job information, other information that may not be part of the machine. You're also able to bring that in and really get a good understanding of what's happening and what areas you need to improve on within the facility floor.
All right, very interesting. So it sounds like it can serve as a middleware, bringing some critical information from the shop floor to the top floor.
Absolutely, that's a key piece in manufacturing now, is this middleware. It really closes that gap that's out there that most of us didn't realize existed, and now there is a solution in place to help close that gap.
All right, interesting. So back to you, Chad Van Haan. One of the things I'm wondering is, when you talk about these reports and all of the displays and so on, could you just give us a thumbnail of the readiness of your facility when you started, and what did you do to train and get your team familiar with using this? Or is it just a management tool today and you have plans?
Right. So currently, I would say within the past quarter, I had been using it as a management tool and a management tool alone. Within the past quarter, I've been rolling it out to the end user. So we're starting to essentially set up smart workstations. At the end user of our injection molding machines, the operator is getting screens put up and MachineNet Cloud is getting displayed. This is not only a show tool for customers, but it's also a useful tool for our employees that are managing each press. They're going to have live digital scrap tracking that they, instead of using like our clicker counters that were in the video, they can enter in real time at the press. As opposed to me getting alerts the next day when we had the meeting, went through Excel and dug through all the data, I can set up the email alerts or the text message alerts and get real-time feedback if a scrap rate is over 3% on a certain line. So that is being rolled out as we speak. I think 4 of my 12 presses are completely done at the end user, and by the end of the month or so, we'll probably have the rest done. As far as training goes, for them, it doesn't take much. It's been extremely simplified. I have each press as a user, and basically that press gets its own badge pulled up and its own scrap tracking pulled up, and that user interface is able to be run on a phone or a tablet or a computer, and all they have to do is say, hey, I got a piece of scrap, and it does all the hard work for them. So at the end user, it makes it extremely simple. Training is very minimal at best.
I see. Interesting. Now, in going through that, though, there is, I think, a certain amount of change management, right? You're changing. You're going from the clicker that we saw in the video to now a full-on digital solution. Michael, does Shibaura have support and services to help your companies that want to use MachineNet Cloud? Do you have support and services to help them through these changes?
Yeah, of course. And we do. So, working with people like Chad and VDI, we have a team here internally inside of Shibaura, from networking security, from customer experience, that help for the training of the clients, coming up with the ideas of what we need by examining the way you do work on the floor, and then obviously presenting the way we could see where you should be going, right? Mm-hmm. And the easy way of doing that. So not only do we have our own team behind it, but of course we have a larger scale as this managed solution that we're offering with the EI3 team that stands in the background that supports us to support our clientele. And no matter what your situation is on the floor, if you just want to monitor OEE, or if you're just looking for downtimes and uptimes or scrap, the apps and what we're doing, we're set up to hit almost every aspect of that plant floor, right? The ultimate goal in the true IIoT world is to be able to handle everything that customer might need. So is that from maintenance aspects, from recipe management for validation purposes, and of course I heard a little bit earlier about the whole sustainability. Right. So we even have ways of helping our clients with that, of looking at the energy consumption and how to work with that, and how to give out the CO2 footprints and.
Very, very interesting, and I think probably many, or if not everybody here in this room knows you, Michael. But one of the things I think that's interesting, and I'm going to ask Chad Van Haan in a moment, but you have a lot of experience with injection molding machines. Is that right? Michael.
Oh, I thought you were asking him.
No. I'm gonna ask a question of Chad.
So if those who do not know me, I've been working with Shibaura machine mostly in the plastics industry for over the last 38 years. So I just missed that 50th anniversary of actually being here, right? So this is also very exciting. The idea that I'm here at a 50th anniversary, and I've been working heavily in the manufacturing industry, especially in the plastics world, since 1986. I am a data geek, and this goes back to years when I worked as a service person inside of us, trying to convince customers to hook up dot matrix printers. Right? Knows whoever can remember that wonderful little zzz, 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 right? And I was such a geek, I'm telling every customer in the world they needed to put that on because data is so important. Right? Where are we going to take it? The problem was at the end of the shift, you ended up with a stack of paper about that tall, and how are you going to analyze it and go through it? Luckily now with the platform that we're offering and to help our clients, the cloud is there. You don't have a stack of paper and a couple clicks of a button, and very simple user interface. You have all the data and everything you need to figure out to actually become more efficient and help develop a faster ROI for the piece of equipment the capital piece of equipment that you put on the floor.
Wow, very, very well put. So what you're saying is the cloud is more sustainable because it eliminated that stack of paper.
Oh yeah, sustainability would be really.
I'm going to quote you on that. That's perfect. And Chad Van Haan. So as you were getting started with MachiNet Cloud, and I'm wondering, were you working with Michael to outline your needs, and was he able to provide you with sort of the guidance and advice to put the right MachiNet Cloud modules to work to accomplish your goals?
Absolutely. So we've had pretty much a partnership since the beginning, working back and forth. I would say it goes past customer support. They've been there to help me with everything along the way. What I needed out of the system, what the system wasn't doing for me, custom tailoring it basically to how I needed to use it in my plant based off the modules that I was going to be implementing at any given point in time. And to spin off what Michael was talking about as far as the cloud services go, it almost makes things audit proof. It makes it very, very simple, whereas across the industry and whatever manufacturing environment you're in, you have process books and paper and all these things that you're constantly tracking when it comes audit time. MachiNet Cloud, they're not kidding when they say instant data grab from the press. There's hundreds of variables. Every variable in the machine is uploaded to the cloud, and I can search that at any point in time. Customer says I had a bad part from June 2nd at 2:32 p.m. I can look that shot up and report it out and see what happened. So it's extremely powerful for us in that manner.
Well, thank you for that. And Michael, it looked like you had something you wanted to add there.
And it's totally going down a whole different avenue in a second. And we're talking about grabbing the data and looking at scrap and everything else. But one of the unique features of this that helps a lot of our clients out that are connected is the idea of remote access. So availability, or keeping that machine running, is extremely important. And we heard earlier about the work staff, where it's hard to find good quality people, maintenance, and everything. So with MachiNet Cloud, the idea that we can actually have our service department, or even them, the customer, remotely actually access the HMI saves a tremendous amount of downtime. Again, bringing more of that efficiency and that ROI for that piece of capital equipment in there.
Wow, that's a very interesting point. So you say you can have like a virtual service visit, just like we had virtual Zoom meetings during COVID.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
interesting.
It's like having a service guy literally sitting in front of the machine remotely.
Whenever you need it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, Chad Eiffel, question for you. So, with hearing what Shibaura is doing for providing the service and support, what's EI3's role in making sure that a company like VDI is getting what they need in terms of IoT solution?
Sure. So first role is to listen, to understand what both VDI needs and what Shibaura needs, and how do we incorporate that into our software solution. Since it is cloud-based, we're able to take feedback from customers and partners to help improve the system. So a feature that the other Chad thinks of today might be a standard offering in the system, the next 6 weeks. So, for us, it's all about providing that additional support, providing the network and infrastructure support, because a lot of times IT might become an obstacle when you're trying to implement a cloud-based solution. So we're able to use our network team to also sit on the calls and help, get through that hurdle. What someone who gets the Shibaura Net MachineNet cloud system, they're able to take advantage of a $20 million worth of software for a low monthly subscription. So you're able to take advantage of everything we've learned from different customers over the years, different partners, and have a complete system that really should fit most of your needs from day one.
Wow, interesting. And so what you just said there about that multi-million-dollar software for a monthly subscription service, I want to hear from Chad Van Haan. What does he think about that? What is the ROI of, because most of the people here, we're buying machines, right? We spend a couple of $1 million and get a big, heavy iron machine on our shop floor. We pay it, and then that's it. What do you think about a subscription service for a data value that you get for your MachineNet Cloud?
On a couple of different levels, I would say that ROI is instant. For me, and as small as our company is currently, to be able to staff the people that I would need to gather the data that I'm getting, I wouldn't be able to do it. I also wouldn't have the ability to make the decisions that I make based off of that data, because I would basically be, holding the gun up and shooting in the dark, hoping I hit the mark. Capacity is the hugest one for me. I think we had our first year of really good, well-gathered data this year, and I purchased 2 machines based off of my capacity, and I did it just in time. We capacitized to 80% on the injection molding floor and custom molding, and as I saw that trend creeping up, as I watch it week to week and get a report dumped into my email, when we reach a certain threshold, we order a machine within that certain tonnage range, and it tends to hit the mark. I put 2 on in the last 30 days on the plant floor, and we needed them just in time. So it's extremely powerful for us. And being a small company, I wouldn't be able to have access to a system like this without a subscription model.
I see.
We would not have the capital to go out and purchase a software package like this without being able to do it on a month-to-month basis from, for each machine.
So in summary, what you're saying is that subscription model works well for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Michael, do you see other companies are starting to accept the subscription model that is being new? Of course, I think we were saying in the hallway on the way in here this morning, it's like Netflix changed all of that, right? Before Netflix, we were all like, no, I'm not renting. I'm going to buy my own DVDs. But now with Netflix, it's okay. So are you seeing that happening across industry?
Absolutely. But we're still seeing the hurdle. Okay, we're still seeing, and I don't want to use the word old-timers, the way we think, okay, but we have to purchase something, right?
Right.
But as you mentioned, today's world is subscriptions, and the power of the cloud and everything has become more and more acceptable to that understanding. Understanding that you have a completely managed system for you, that updates are automatically done. So the latest and greatest software will be updated automatically versus, okay, I purchase a system, it's going to run on premise, and I have to worry about it a year from now. So I am seeing the increase. I will admit, a couple years ago when I first entered a lot of doors, there was a big hurdle there. Like, I don't want to, the cloud is this wonderful, dark little thing that no one understands. Painfully,
we
I
don't
looked up-
like dark clouds.
Yeah, we don't
want
like dark clouds.
fluffy clouds.
White
Yeah.
fluffy clouds, right? But trying to understand that and the power that that cloud has is the way of tomorrow, and subscription's going to fit that perfectly.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for that. So I know we have so many things to talk about. We could go on and on and on, but I do want to give this audience the opportunity to use the magic box, which is, and if you're afraid to hold the magic box, we can also just shout it out. That's fine too. But would love to hear if anybody has any questions for the panel here. And you want to start with one?
I've got the box. I'll try. There's a million questions. This is very exciting technology, and you know how I feel about it. Going in and talking to somebody new on this technology, we talk about OEE and the OEE improvement. So we try to start them small. In your experience, Mr. Van Hun, has this improved your OEE? And if it has, what do you contribute to this contributing, to improvement?
I don't think that MachineNet Cloud has improved my OEE. I think that it shows me where I need to go to improve my OEE. Does that make sense?
Determining the root causes.
Exactly. So
With
it
the
allows me to
analytics
very
it's giving
quickly and easily see that nail that's sticking up that I need to hammer down to get my OEE numbers
So
up.
based on analytics, you can determine your root cause, which in turn improves your OEE.
Absolutely.
But to jump in also, it's also more accurate OEE. A lot of times there are components of OEE that are estimated or guessed or fudged a little. Now you're using machine data to accurately compute your OEE. And sometimes it may go down once you start to understand what the true numbers look like, what your true downtime is. So many times you'll see that initial hit in OEE before you slowly start to increase it over time.
Fantastic.
And we're setting up here, and we're referring to a lot with the injection molding group with Chad here, but to keep in mind that we're using this system, and Shibaura wants to help our clients get the most out of that piece of equipment. It's not just, hey, I'm going to sell you a piece of equipment, you're on your own. Part of this coming out with this digital service and looking at true IoT was to find better ways to help our client get the most out of their equipment. And we do connect to injection molding machines, the die casting machines, and we have machine tools online as well. And it's more than a system. When I say we want to help our clients, like I said, VDI here, to become more efficient and use that, it's more than just our machines. So even Chad even has another brand online. So we were able to look at that and find a solution so his whole plant floor can give him that information that he needs.
Wait, so make sure I heard that correctly, Michael. So you're saying that MachineNet Cloud can also work on machines made by other machine building companies, for those who may have made the mistake of buying them.
I like the surprised look in your face.
Okay.
Right. Yes. Right.
All right.
So we definitely can hook
Support
up
all different types of machines.
support all different types of machinery.
Very nice.
Correct.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
secondary equipment as well, and that's a big and personal push. And then working with Chad as well, that more data, more than just in his case, injection molding machine, but eventually the whole goal is he will have his plant as a total IoT solution based on the cloud.
It's fantastic. All right, do we have other questions? I saw, right over here, you've got the box.
Yeah, I got the box, so I will ask a question. And I'm going to ask a question about working with a company's IT department and getting through their firewall. And I know every company has top secrets that they don't want anyone ever to find out. So how do you set up a system to get to the cloud without going through that IT guy who doesn't want to let you through that firewall?
We just take him out.
Hold on a second,
we're
Mike. I'm
just
going to let Chad Eiffel.
I think he should answer
we
it.
all want to answer that.
Well, I just want to say we just usually get him drunk, and that usually works.
Oh, there's that.
Sure, it's a challenge we face, almost every day. And, the way our system is designed, we really try to limit the the number of holes that we're poking into a customer's network. So we have a multi-box setup where we have a single point of entry into facility, so one IP address needed there, and then separate boxes to isolate each individual machine. So asking an IT person for a single entry point, which they can monitor themselves, they're able they tend to be more accepting to that. We've also gone out, because we're a network company, we've gotten all the certifications needed. We have our third-party audits. We have everything that's necessary, all the paperwork needed to show and prove that we have a secure network. All updates are required. We can easily pull out audits, histories, things like that. So this is where the EI3 team comes into play, because we're able to provide that little extra to help Michael get through the IT department.
Besides getting them drunk.
That's
yes.
always the first thing.
Very good. That was a great question. And it's also, I think that's something at the top of everybody's mind is security, cybersecurity. And, I think manufacturing companies are particularly vulnerable to getting injected with ransomware. And with PC-based controls on the machines, it's an absolute catastrophe. So I think, Shibaura, I'm just speaking now, not as a panelist. I'm just joining the panel sorry, not as the host, but joining the panel. Shibaura, I think, has very wisely partnered with EI3, which is a company that professionally delivers security to the factory floor, and by doing that has been able to proactively address the concerns of many manufacturers that see security as absolutely essential to an IoT solution. Yeah. Okay, other questions? The box has disappeared, so it's somewhere.
I see a question somewhere.
Megan has a question, or is she going to pull us off the stage?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if I'm allowed to do this because I'm hosting, but this is specific for Chad Van Haan. So you mentioned that you have 15 employees and then 12 machines?
Yes.
So how has MachiNet Cloud help you maintain competitiveness with some of the larger companies that are in your industry?
Basically, it boils down to how I can direct my headcount to achieve the level of data gathering and reporting that I'm doing. It would take another 2 people in the front office. Currently, MachineNet Cloud allows me to instantly data grab from the presses in real time, and I don't have to staff anyone, and anyone that is staffed can be out performing functions on the floor that are actually value added. So it allows me to not staff a non-value added position and continue focusing on moving the needle forward on the company.
And how has it helped you gain more business in terms of like let me start over. How has it helped you change the type of conversations you're having with your customers so that they turn into actual leads instead of potential leads?
I actually just had a really good one this week. We had a customer come in, and the system just shows so well from the front office perspective to the end user out at the floor and displayed right there at the machine. After I get done, doing my spiel around the injection molding floor, they went up to the front office to talk to our audit control, basically to look at our ISO system, and they didn't even ask them any questions at that point. So it's almost, I'm not going to say it's bulletproof at my plant yet, but we're working in that direction to where all of our things that are auditable at the injection molding floor are digital and controlled within that end user environment. Does that make sense?
Well, thank you for those questions, Megan. They were really good. And thank you, Chad, for the answer. Any other questions out there? I see the box is kind of sitting by an empty chair. But anybody who wants it can take it. All right.
And now I have someone next to it. A lot of people in this industry, this is a mature industry now, right? When a lot of us got into it, it was just starting out. Mature industry, a lot of the bigger plants, bigger molders have their own data collection system already, right? How would MachineNet Cloud help those companies that already have a collection system?
I think we'll let Michael Warner start with that one.
Yeah, because I'm always, afraid to talk, right?
Great question.
It is a great question. So what's really nice with the platform, like I said, this platform is a very powerful tool. One of the things that makes it extremely easy is the use of APIs, RESTful APIs. So all the data that we're collecting is capable of going into a RESTful API. Those APIs then can be merged into existing ERPs, MES systems accordingly, fairly simply. I think that's
Okay, that's interesting. You know, I think I'm going to speak as the host to your question, which I think is a good one. One of the things that MashiNet Cloud is able to do is to use the power of aggregated data to the benefit of the manufacturer. So whether you have a shop of 12 machines or a shop of 100 machines, there's still things that you could learn if you had access to the data of 1,000 machines. And so that's why MashiNet Cloud is so powerful, because it's able to aggregate data and then analyze it in an anonymous way to come up with algorithms that will do predictive failure analysis, and with that predictive failure analysis, alert you proactively before something very important goes bad or breaks on your machine. And so that's the vision. Of course, this is always a journey, so there's different stages of the journey. The vision right now is that by aggregating all of the data and pulling together this analytics, soon Shibaura machine will be able to offer packages which are based on predictive learning that will help you reduce unplanned downtime. Okay. Are we out of time? Okay.
What took you so long?
Wait, before you go, I just want to say, just for everyone, I know we have a break and we're going to have some photos, right? But after the break, I'm going to be actually giving you a vendor presentation on behalf of VI3, the host of MashiNet Cloud. And just to make sure you come back here, I'm going to share with you how you can take advantage of the biggest technological revolution of our lifetime that's even bigger than the Internet of Things.